What's shakin'? Hey, I'm Rick Jordan. Today, we're going all in. I was reading and consuming as I do a lot, and I saw that this statistic from a survey that millennials, and you know how much I love that phrase, but let's just use it to describe a generation right now, okay? Because it's not derogatory. I actually love younger generations and those that were born during that time period. Y'all have like great, I just said y'all, what the heck? Oh, jeez. I'm going to kick myself here or something like that. I'm from Chicago. Come on now. Now, in order to feel rich in this survey, like to actually feel like you're financially heading to feel rich, a lot of millennials said that they need to be making about $1 million a year, right? Because of inflation and all this other stuff going on, things cost a lot more these days. And with home prices rising, rents rising, all of these things, it makes sense to me on how a lot of people between the ages of like 25 and 40 right now, or even between 20 and 30, will say, you know what, to actually feel rich, I think I need to be pulling in $1 million a year. That makes sense. So this millionaire thing is sort of like almost a requirement now in order to have an okay lifestyle from how people are looking at this, like something to obtain $1 million a year, which means to be like super wealthy, it means you have to be a multi-millionaire, right? And that's how most people are perceiving the world now and perceiving actual wealth is in order to be rich, I need $1 million a year. In order to be wealthy, I need to be a multi-millionaire, like stashed away in the bank, okay? So I'm going to give you some tips today that I've started taking on myself, you know, because I am a multi-millionaire and I didn't start there like 12 years ago. It took time to get to this point, but there's certain things that I've learned along the way that have helped me get there. And certain things, especially that I've looked at others that I take a look after. It's like now I'm looking at billionaires. It's like, how do I get there? What are they doing? You know, how do they achieve so much in such a short time period? And that's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to give you 5 millionaire hacks today in order to get to that point so that you can stuff a lot away and actually have the amazing life that you want. All right, the first one is self-made millionaires. Now, I'm self-made, right? Self-made millionaires are constantly learning. Now, I will go a step further and say self-made millionaires are also constantly consuming information, right? So it's not just like learning something and then applying it and moving on. This is like an everyday process. No joke, right? I do it every single freaking day. It's part of my breakfast routine. While I'm eating, I am consuming. While I'm working out, I'm consuming. Even while I'm like in meetings, I'm consuming as I'm sitting there. One of the reasons that I love going on media and news networks all the time, because it forces me to consume and learn more about all these different topics that I might not have looked up before, even though it's in my field, or sometimes it's not even in my field. You know, I get calls to do these things because I'm a very good orator. I speak well, but I have to go on and I have to study this stuff for a good 30 minutes before I do a 3-minute news appearance. I constantly put myself in these positions to where I have to consume. I have to learn. I have to continuously raise the bar of my knowledge. And when I do that, I start to learn these little things, and you never know when that one little thing will be like this new light bulb and be like, bam, I could start doing this tomorrow and apply this to X, apply that to Z, and this is going to increase my revenue another $1 million this year. Let's go. LFG. It's incredible. You have to constantly be learning and consuming, okay? The number 2 is self-made millionaires actually listen more than they talk. And I love this. I've said before that I like being the dumbest person in the room. I love asking questions. I would have never made a good Marine because I would always ask that question, why? I love understanding people. I'm curious about this. It's like a 5-to-1 rule, right? You need to listen 5 times more than what you talk. I'm not talking from stage or if you have a podcast like this or whatever, because I talk a lot, right? But outside of this, you know, if I'm not coaching somebody, or even if I am coaching somebody, I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm allowing the other individual to talk a lot more than what I'm speaking. That way I can learn more about them. That way I can build a relationship. And especially when you use this method to actually seek feedback from other people, that's how you grow a great team, is seeking feedback from everybody else that's around you. Self-made millionaires listen more than they talk. And on that team note, number 3 is self-made millionaires build freaking great teams. That's something that I love doing. I love putting people in places where they can excel and shine and grow and achieve fulfillment for what they want in life, because it's like putting like different puzzle pieces together in order to build this great grand thing that cannot be done on your own. You have limits to how much money you can make, to how high you can go, that are much less than what you can achieve with a team. You can achieve a lot on your own. Absolutely you can, because I'm sure you wouldn't be listening to this show if you weren't a high achiever, right? You're going after some pretty big things. That's awesome. You're a high achiever. Phenomenal. That's amazing. But you have this limits. You can continue to accelerate, but that will start to plateau. You can still grow, but it'll slow down. When you start to build an amazing team around you, that's how you continue to sustain amazing growth, because you can get so much more done, and there's no way that you can be the best that there is to be at every single area and competency that you need for whatever it is that you're doing. Self-made millionaires build amazing teams. Number 4, self-made millionaires dream freaking big. I've said this concept before, is that when I start to get overwhelmed in something, I already think that I think pretty big and I dream pretty big, but I catch myself thinking small in some of these areas. And the reason I know I'm thinking small is because I get overwhelmed. Whenever I get overwhelmed, I'm too focused on the problem at hand. But if I think bigger, if I dream bigger, then I can easily solve that. Because if I'm looking to solve this one problem about one thing, but I get overwhelmed because I'm focusing on that, and I tell myself, Rick, you're thinking too small. But then I take a look, it's like, well, if I had this one thing, what if I had 100 of these to solve at one time? Then I start to solve for this massive scenario that doesn't even exist, but it could in the future. It doesn't exist right now, but you start to make different decisions. You start to make bigger, more impactful, more powerful decisions that actually start to make that little problem that you're overwhelmed about seem pretty tiny and inconsequential. That's the beauty of this, because self-made millionaires dream big. And then all of a sudden, when you accomplish that can solve for 100 of whatever, you're like, well, shoot, now I can even make more money. Now I can impact more people. Now I can have more fun. It's pretty cool. It expands your ability to think and how big you can dream by, in those moments of feeling overwhelmed, telling yourself one thing, you're thinking too small. Self-made millionaires dream big. The last one I have for you today, this is super important. I've made this a part of my life, and this is why I've gotten to where I am so far. And I will continue to do this, because self-made millionaires prioritize their health. This is something that you absolutely cannot sacrifice. Now, at times, I'm going to be real with you. I do. I just did a couple months ago because I got a call. I forgot to stretch. I threw out a disc in my back. I forgot to stretch after a workout. I didn't prioritize my health in that moment. I'm talking like 2 minutes, and it caused me a lot of pain. But consistently over and over again, I have routines that I stick with because I prioritize my health. And it's not just a matter of your body that this affects, because it's going to give you energy. Absolutely it will. When you prioritize your health, you have to be on top of your game at peak performance all the time, because you, as the entrepreneur, as the self-made millionaire, as the CEO, bear the emotional load of the company or the team that you are leading. You bear the emotional load of the company or the team that you are leading as a self-made millionaire, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur. In order to do that, you have to prioritize your health. This isn't just physical health, it's also mental health. There's times to where you need to step away. There's times to where if you're feeling the pressure in the day, even just 15 minutes, sometimes I'll do this and take just a walk around the building. It happens and it's needed. I'm trying to put in right now, because I'm not perfect at this, guys. I am not perfect at this. I'm trying to build in time that's actual downtime and actual ways, because I learned this on a TV show when I was interviewing a dude, right? And he actually has time that he sets aside for just creative time. He does all of his income-producing activities in the morning, and then the afternoons are just for creative time. It allows his mind to be free, and it helps his mental health. So he works out physically in the mornings, I do that, but then in the afternoon, it's for creative time. It's awesome, and that's something that I'm trying to insert into my life right now to help me with my mental health. Because I'm a creative dude, and in order to dream big, you have to be mentally healthy, which also means good relationships, everything else. Start to look around and see where the stress is. But these are the 5 things that self-made millionaires, from what I'm telling you, that are super important and almost like cardinal rules for you to follow to continue to grow, accelerate, to go big, to have everything you want, to be fulfilled, and to go all in.